Yeah, it's not. It's very dangerous, man, to be making takfir on your brother. Major sins doesn't take a person outside of the fold of Islam, man. I remember when I first accepted Islam, I went, man. I was like going to different masajid. You know what I mean? And I was a new Muslim. Maybe not even a year. You know what I mean? Maybe six months or something like that. And I was going to different masajid, different masjids through LA. And I went to one masjid, and every time I went, and it was all about politics. Nothing about teaching people Islam. Nothing about teaching people their religion. Which, unfortunately, majority of the masjids in America, I don't know about other countries, but majority, I would say 90%, they're not into teaching people Islam. They into politics. They into bashing this Muslim country, bashing this Muslim ruler. So you will have an individual that go to a certain masjid for 10 years, and he never learned no Arabic. He never really learned how to recite Quran properly, because majority of these masjids is all about politics. And I seen this, you know what I mean? So I was hopping from different masajid, but alhamdulillah, I was a new Muslim, but I would go to this masjid and I would say, man, something doesn't feel right. So I go to a different masjid, you know what I mean? And I go in a masjid and everything about politics. And at this particular time, man, I wanted to learn my religion. I didn't even know how to pray properly. And I was too embarrassed to ask a person like certain questions about Islam because I was shy. You understand? So I was wondering, how come I'm going to these masjids and nobody teaching Islam? They only want to talk about this ruler in this Muslim country is bad. This thing is bad. Of course, we concerned about what's happening in Palestine and these different countries, but the cure to the problems of the Muslim is tawheed, learning our religion. As the Prophet ﷺ told us in many times, that when the Muslims return back to their religion, Allah will give us victory and success. So, of course, we could talk about what's happening, what's facing the Muslims, but tell us the solution. Teach us the solution. The solution is return back to your religion. Real simple. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said that. He said that there will come a time where people will gather around you, when nations will gather around you, as if they eat, as people gathered around a plate eating. They will gather around the Muslims. And he said pretty much they will invade the Muslims. They will attack the Muslims. And he said Allah will not let up from punishing the Muslims until they return back to their deen. Until they return. He mentioned because the Muslims would turn their back on their religion. They would chase the tails of cattle. They would turn their back on struggling in jihad. They would turn their back. But he didn't leave it. The Prophet ﷺ didn't leave it with jihad. He didn't say, the Prophet ﷺ didn't even say that's the victory. He said Allah will not let up until you turn back to your deen, your religion. Unfortunately, many of us don't know our religion properly. So the punishment that Allah put on us, the only way that Allah will remove this, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, sister, the only way, Sister Jahara, we got to talk about the coffee truck at the event that's coming up in March. So I will hit your peoples, call me, and I will contact them back, inshallah. But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam let us know that the victory to the Muslims is returning back to their religion. You understand? Yes, I'm going to come, inshallah, to Al-Faisu, inshallah. We can discuss everything and get everything rolling, alhamdulillah. So the victory is Islam. So, for example, when I first became Muslim, I was jahil. I was ignorant. You understand? I was still caught up. Like most of the Muslim rappers, I didn't really know no better. I go to this masjid, and nobody was teaching Islam. They just was constant. They just cared about politics. So one day, alhamdulillah, I thank Allah for this, but it's kind of funny, my story. I'm trying to tell you, I'm explaining how Allah guided me to the sunnah, alhamdulillah. So one day, a friend of mine hit me up, Abdullah. He's a Libyan brother. And he was like, look, I have a Tunisian homie from Virginia is coming to town, and I want you to pick him up because I'm going to be busy with my family and work. He can't be home alone while my wife is home. So during the days, can you pick this brother up and take him around? I was like, cool, no problem. You know what I mean? I went to the airport. When the brother came out the airport, he had a thobe on. You know, like the thobes I be wearing. This time I was new Muslim, so I would look at him. I'm like, damn, man, this dude about to get in my car with a thobe on, looking like a terrorist. I was ignorant. You know what I mean? I was like, man, so you know what? This is the guest of my homie. I still took him in the car. I had a few meetings. One of the meetings I had was with Mike Bibby from the he used to play for the Sacramento Kings. And then I had a meeting with a few people from the music industry at a hotel in Beverly Hills somewhere. So the brother, mashallah, I'm driving him around, cool brother, mashallah, very nice brother. And everywhere I went, I'm like, you know what, man? I don't care what nobody say. This is my Muslim brother. He got his thobe on. I'm taking him to any meeting I go to. I was taking him to places, and when they see him, their eyes is lighting up. You know what I mean? But what happened is, this brother, mashallah, Allah gave me guidance by the permission of Allah through the hand of this brother. Because before this brother came in town, and this is what I'm going to tell you about having hikmah and wisdom with people. You understand? Just because DJ Khaled and these people might be Muslim, make dua for them. Don't make takfir on these brothers. Drinking alcohol, fornication are sins, but it doesn't take a person outside of Islam, so be careful. So when I first, before this Tunisian brother came in town, I went to a class. I went to a khutbah finally. I finally heard a khutbah in North Hollywood. And this was the first time I heard the imam talking about Qala Allah, Qala Rasulullah. Allah says and Muhammad said. Every other masjid I've been going through was all about politics. This was the first time I heard an individual talking about what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to his Sahaba, what Allah said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when the khutbah was over, I went to this brother and I was like, look, man, I'm a new Muslim, but this is the first time I heard knowledge like that. He was spitting it in Arabic, reciting, translating in English. So I said to him, man, this is the first time that I heard a khutbah like that. Where did you get this knowledge from? So the brother was like, I'm a student at the Islamic University in Medina, Saudi Arabia. I come every summers and I do khutbahs here. He said, but if you want to learn proper Islam, there's a man named Farid Abdullah. He said Farid Abdullah is originally from Bahamas. He's an imam at a masjid called Masjid at Mutman. He said, but tonight on Fridays, he give classes in Hollywood. Believe it or not, in Hollywood, they have a masala. A group of brothers, a group of businessmen from Gambia. They came to America. They do business in Hollywood, so they open up a masala. So every Friday night, Farid Abdullah at this time, he would go give classes there. So the brother said, man, you got to go. I'm going to explain to you how ignorant I was, how ignorant I was when I first became Muslim. So the brother said, if you want to go to this place and you will see Farid Abdullah. So I had my wife with me. I was newly married to my wife. I rolled up to the masjid. At this particular time, I still got some fresh money. You know, I'm driving an Escalade at this time, a brand new Cadillac truck. I rolled up to this place in Hollywood. And I was like, yeah, told my wife, let's go. And they's like, nah, tonight classes was only for women. So I was like, cool. I told my wife, I just want to go listen to this man for a little bit. Stay in the car. I'll be right back. Take the car or whatever. I'll be right back. Or you can come back. So when I walked into the masjid, I seen Farid Abdullah sitting down. And I seen everybody with beards around him. And then I seen this big dude. He my homie now, but he's a Kurdish brother. He was like 60, 70 years old. 60 years old, literally. But mashallah, he was on swole. He had muscles. So now I'm ignorant, so I'm looking at them. This is the first masjid that I've been to where everybody had beards. So you know what I said to myself? Damn, I think I just walked into a terrorist meeting, man. This dude too old. This Arab dude too old to have these muscles. So I started tripping out. I was so ignorant, man, from what the media be telling you. I was ignorant, you know what I mean? I was fresh out the music industry. So I said to myself, I said, man, this dude got muscles. He's 60 years old. This Arab dude, beard down here. I said, matter of fact, these dudes are terrorists, man. I'm getting the hell out of here. So when I started hearing Farid talk, when I heard Farid start talking, everything was pure Islam. Allah says, he would say the Quran, he would say the verse, he would explain the translation, he would say what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Then one brother, Allah bless this brother, he was a very good friend of me now, but what I'm trying to tell you is that everything have a certain time. As in Islam, we might see a person doing something wrong, but we cannot automatically go in and check them and say, brother, this haram, this haram. Sometimes we have to have hikmah. Hikmah in Arabic, wisdom, means to put something at its proper place at its proper time. A proper place at the proper time. So we might see brothers smoking or drinking. It might not necessarily that we can go right to them and say, brothers drinking alcohol is haram, like people do all the time. You might chase a brother away. So one brother came to me, mashallah, he's a good friend of mine now, and I knew his intention was pure. And he came to me and he was like, you know what? You got to cut your jeans above your ankles. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us men that we should wear our garments above our ankles. But I didn't know this. I was a new Muslim. Now I'm thinking that these people terrorists and they crazy. So I'm like, man, wait a minute. What do you mean I got to cut my? He's like, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this. I don't even know how to pray properly. You understand? I don't even know how to pray properly, but he's telling me to cut my pants above my ankle, which is true. What he's saying is correct. You understand? But he should have came at me with something simple. Teach me how to pray. Ask me, do I know my prayers yet? Teach me how to recite Quran properly. But he went straight to telling me to cut my jeans. So I said, you know what, man? I'm getting the hell out of here. This is what I said. I said, man, these jokers crazy. I said, this old man, 60 years old. I ran to my wife. I said, man, I think I just ran into a terrorist meeting. I said, I seen this old man. He was 60 years old. This dude was on swole. His muscles was cut up. Come to find out later, he was Ali. He's a bodybuilder. He's a professional bodybuilder. But I'm tripping. I'm thinking this joke because this is the first time I seen anybody with beards. You know what I mean? So I said to myself, I'm never going around these people ever again. So fast forward, when this Libyan brother told me a Tunisian brother's coming in town, he wanted me to pick this brother up. When Friday came, this brother told me, I need you to take me to a masjid for Jumu'ah prayer. I said, cool, no problem. I took him to the masjid. Remember, I said Fareed was teaching at the Gambian masjid in Hollywood. Fareed Abdullah masjid is in Los Angeles, in South Central, you know. So when I pull up to the masjid, I started seeing the brothers all with the beards again. The old 60-year-old Arab dude with the muscles. I seen a brother who told me to cut my jeans. So I was like, damn, man, this dude is one of these dudes. And he said to him, and you know what I said? You know what? He's my guest. He want to go to this masjid. I'm going to go to the prayer with him. After the prayer, I'm leaving anyway. So I sat down in the prayer, and Fareed Abdullah gave the khutbah. And this was the second time that I heard Allah says, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the Sahaba did this, the Salaf did this. He explained Islam. It wasn't like these mashes that I was going through that every Friday was about politics. You understand? He started teaching me. He was teaching the khutbah, teaching Islam. And alhamdulillah, man, I thank Allah, ever since that day, I never left that masjid until I moved to Saudi Arabia. And I come to find out, Fareed Abdullah, he studied in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He studied under the sheikhs like Sheikh Uthaymeen, Sheikh bin Baz. He went to their classes, if I'm not mistaken. And the brother at Sheikh Mukbil, Rahimahullah, Sheikh Mukbil from Yemen, he visited America when he was getting his treatment. The Saudi government sent Sheikh Mukbil, Prince Naif, Allah Yarhamah, Prince Naif bin Abdul Aziz sent Sheikh Mukbil to America to get treatment for his cancer. And Sheikh Mukbil went to Fareed Abdullah Masjid. Sheikh Mukbil of Yemen, the reviver of the Sunnah of Yemen, Sheikh Mukbil bin Hadi, the reviver of the Sunnah in Yemen from Damaj, who started Damaj, went to Masjid movement. And when he heard the khutbah of Fareed Abdullah, Sheikh Mukbil got up and kissed him on his head. He tried to kiss him on his head. Sheikh Mukbil, last book he wrote, he was surprised. He said, when I went to America, I seen individuals, Muslims that was following Quran and the Sunnah with the understanding of the Salaf. And he said, I was amazed at this. And he said one of them one masjid that I went to was a masjid, and they had the imam by the name of Fareed Abdullah, who was knowledgeable in the religion of Islam. And Sheikh Mukbil was telling people, if you in America and you want to learn pure Islam, he said, go to Fareed Abdullah. Fareed Abdullah might not be known because he's not the type of person that he doesn't put his face on YouTube. He's very shy. He doesn't go on videos. He's not out there trying to go to every event. He's very humble. But if you go to this masjid, mashallah, even if you Google Fareed Abdullah on YouTube and you listen to his speeches, you will know where I'm coming from. So my point is that, brothers, that one brother who told me to cut my pants above my ankles, even though he's a friend of mine now, even though his intentions was pure and I know he meant good for me, but he almost chased me around from being around people of the Sunnah. He almost scared me, literally. I was scared when I went there. I was like, you know what, man? These jokers is crazy. I paid, $200-300 for these jeans, and he telling me to cut them. He telling me to cut my jeans. I thought he was a nutcase, you understand? Even though his intentions was pure. So when you see individuals amongst the Muslims, especially in the West, you might see Muslims smoking weed. You might see Muslims drinking. We know Muslims as gangbanging. We're not saying that this is correct, but we have to have a method to bring them closer to Islam. We don't want them to run away from Islam. We don't want to, every time they see us, we telling them, yo, Aki, that's haram. Obviously, they have a weakness. Obviously, they need to be around more Muslims. Obviously, they need to return back to the masjid. So what we going to do to return these people back to the masjid? Are we going to scare them away? Or are we going to be trying to be like have good manners and etiquettes with these brothers? Are we going to be the ones like, yo, Aki, let's go, come out, let's go get some coffee, let's go get some dinner, let's go get some lunch. Bring the people closer to us so that they can start going back to the masjid. We don't want the people to say, man, every time I go around a Muslim, they say haram, 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 and it's actually chasing me. I heard this. I heard these things. I heard this out of people's mouth in America saying, I don't go to masjids on Friday no more because the people are chasing me away from the masjid. They don't make me feel comfortable. Man, we should never be like this.